Hey guys, welcome to just a short video here. I don't have a script or anything, but I was just on eBay and I came across something interesting. Um, Let me know if you guys here watching this can tell the difference between these two cards. Alright, over here we have a Rikku. I'm kind of covering it, but she's a hollow S card. Very pretty card. Over here is the same card in the full art version. Spot the difference, right? If you stare at these long enough, you can probably tell the difference. Unfortunately, that might not be the case for some employees that work at a certain grading company called PSA. You ever heard of them? Over here, I found a couple listings. The first one I found was for a PSA 10 Final Fantasy Rikku Full Art. We can see here, that's not the full art one. Now, the person listing it might not know that. They, honestly, I'm not really sure if it matters if they know or not. But you would assume that somebody, or the people grading at PSA, would be able to know the difference between the two, and need to know the difference between the two. Because this is not a vintage card. I don't know what would be considered vintage in Final Fantasy, like maybe Opus 1 or something. This is 2022, so very recent. Over here, I'll move on to our next card in question. This one is a 2021 Cloud, and the person selling it took notice and said that it's mislabeled, and it is a PSA 10 Cloud full art, but again, not a full art. And what's doing it is, yeah, the difference being the border and all that stuff. If you don't know the difference yet, I'm sorry for you. Maybe you should go apply for a job at PSA. Yeah. So, $400. I'm not sure now if would be a fair price, but no, the cloud itself is a legendary in this case. And I would say the raw card is still going for about 150. And it is interesting that it's mislabeled, right? So I don't know if you find value in that or not. The last one I found here, this was a sold listing, I think. I think this was the sold listing. Or was that the sold listing? I believe this was the sold one. And, no, this couldn't be the sold one. This is the last one sold? Or is this another one? Oh, okay. So if this one is still, up here listed, the seller didn't take notice of it being mislabeled as well. I guess ultimately my point here really is just, when it comes to Final Fantasy and PSA grading, really, it's taken for a grain of salt, honestly. I only have one card that I have graded, actually. It's this one. It just hasn't come back yet. And I only did it because I personally like the card. So if you're someone who's grading them for yourself, that's whatever. You can probably still stick with PSA if that's the grading company of choice you like. Me personally, I like Pokemon cards, and a lot of Pokemon people like PSA. But for authenticity of the cards, PSA, man, they're really letting us down. And on a side note, like I mentioned before, when it comes to those Opus 1 cards, PSA has had grading issues before where they have mislabeled things as being Wave 1 of Opus 1, as in like the first printing of Opus 1, with the value being from the first wave versus the second printing and etc. Quite a difference. You can kind of treat it like Shadowless or like a first edition or something in the Pokemon community. And PSA messed that up with the Final Fantasy Opus 1. So right from the beginning, they've been messing up stuff with Final Fantasy. So it just sucks. I guess that's my point. So like I said, kind of a short video, but yeah. Let me know what you think about PSA and Final Fantasy. Peace.